by a silver-haired old lady with a honk if you love Jesus sticker on the bumper of her car.
Welcome back. November 13th, the Cripes Come On, You Gotta Be Kidding Me segment. This is a piece of the show where we like to lament, where we like to cry out, where we like to say to the universe, to God, and to one another, things are not the way they're supposed to be in this world.
They're not, no.
There's things that are broken. There's things that are underachieving. There's things that make us yearn for another world.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm
we
yearning right now.
So we don't just complain. We're not just gripers.
No.
We're not just gripers and cripers and come-oners and you got to be kidding me.
No.
But I'll tell you, I do hear people saying all three of these, cripes and come-ons and you've got to be kidding me. And I always appreciate it all day long. And so we cry out. Then at the end of the show, we like to remind ourselves there are some things that are right.
Oh, there are.
And those are the things that we want to see more of in the world. And we have choices to make.
We do.
We want to be people who just leave the world in its cripes, come on, you got to be kidding me state.
No.
We want something more than that. We want something better than that.
Yes.
And sometimes the griping, sometimes the cripesing, sometimes the come-oning brings about social change.
It does.
And I would like to suggest that perhaps in its own small way, 2 years of bringing up wind chill factor as a meteorology category has finally paid off. For years, I have been complaining on this show that wind chill doesn't make any sense as a separate temperature, because 20 below zero feels 20 below, and if they say but 30 below with the wind chill, then you don't know what 20 below feels like anymore. It drives me crazy. And what did the Weather Service declare this week? They're no longer giving us wind chill counts. Woo! Thank you very much. And you know what that means? It's not going to be as cold.
What was that? Is that the underlying?
Now they're going to use these overstatements like extremely cold.
Oh,
really, really cold.
Oh, great! That's what we need, more hyperbole in weather.
Hyperbole in the weather department. So I just felt a bit of Cripes, come on, you got to be kidding me, vindication this week when I heard that announcement. Whether they heard us or not,
live with you now.
Whether they heard us or not, the goodness of our laments, the goodness of our confession has played out. So we come up with the Cripes. And we come up with a come on, and we come up with
I can't. The third. Sorry. Oops.
You got to be kidding me.
Never gets old.
Never gets old if you like political humor. You know what I appreciate? Somebody they have no idea what that story's about. They have no idea why that guy is saying in the third. I can't remember it. Oops.
Yeah.
And you know what I think? We're not going to tell them. We're not going to tell them what happened there. We're just going to say Rick Perry, and then we're going to giggle. The Cripes for this week goes out to those of us who feel hungry an hour earlier. Because, last Saturday, we changed our clocks, where we stopped saving time. We decided enough of the saving, and it's time to start spending.
That's right.
No more daylight savings time for us. We're going to start spending daylight like
it's the holiday season. Get us spending.
Like it's the holiday season, and we're spending daylight. And here's what's weird about it. Now that we're not saving daylight anymore, it's dark all the time.
Yeah.
It should go the other way.
Right.
After you save daylight, then
you got a bunch of it.
You got a bunch of it, and you can spend it all the time. They should switch the names.
Yeah.
They should switch the two periods and say you're saving daylight now, because then all summer you're like, we're spending like crazy, man.
Right.
Yeah. But anyway, a lot of us feel this thing, and we forgot because we're aged, and we forgot that last Saturday night, before we went to bed, we changed the clocks, and we sprung them, we bounced them back, we fell backward, as I always try to remember it. We fell back instead of springing forward. So then what happens to me? My body doesn't know that.
No.
It's only my mind. It's only this reference to time that has changed, but my body is like, it's like 6 o'clock, let's eat. But it's not, it's 5 o'clock, and then I find myself hungry.
Yeah.
And because I have no willpower, then I eat a bowl of cereal at 5 and then dinner at 6.
The ultimate in first world problems.
Yeah. So some of us just have a hard time with the fact that we're changing the clocks all the time. Our bodies are off. But the real Cripes for this, the real one goes out not to the aged ones like us who sneak a bowl of cereal in the afternoon because we're starving, can't wait for dinner.
Yeah.
It's to the poor parents of little kids whose bodies never adjust.
That's right.
So the parents are saying to themselves, it's 5 in the morning, not to the kid.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, and so parents can't, they forget too because they're parents of youngsters and they can't remember anything.
No.
And they're trying to figure out why their kids are crabby all the time.
Yeah.
Because they're exhausted because we've been playing with the time. So Cripes goes out to any of us for whom the daylight savings time sort of throws us over the edge. And then the come on. We're going all of the come ons, Cripes come on, you got to be kidding me today, are in honor of someone else. So in honor of Rick Perry, we're giving him the come on.
Yeah.
We're not come oning Rick Perry.
No.
We're showing some empathy that there's a guy who was trying to remember the 3 of 3 things and couldn't do it. And we've all had that kind of experience. Now, not for 53 minutes, like we didn't actually know what the 3 things were.
Right.
But we've had that experience before where you just were like, oh, don't happen to me now.
Yeah.
Whatever that is, whether it was forgetting something or slipping down the stairs or dropping your suitcase, whatever it was, that thing that you're like, oh, don't happen to me now. Rick Perry had one of those experiences. And so he gets a collective, oh, come on.
Yeah.
I mean, that's unbelievable.
I can't. The third. Sorry. Oops.
Come on. See, had he been a part of this vocabulary around the radio show, you know what he would have done? He would have looked down at his notes and said, oh, come on. Oh, come on. Come on, brain. What do you got for me there? All right, and then the You've Got to Be Kidding Me also goes out on behalf of this poor 18-year-old Arizona man.
You want me to do it?
You want to tell us about this story?
Okay.
Because I mentioned it to John during our
Yeah.
prep this morning. He goes, oh, I'm all over that story.
Okay, so apparently there's this chap in Arizona who answers a Craigslist ad to participate in some ritual torture and sex on behalf of trying to raise up some werewolf spirits.
Werewolf spirit.
So he flies to
Milwaukee.
He flies to.
He busted. He took a bus to Milwaukee.
He took a bus.
He took a bus. 18-year-old kid all the way from Phoenix to Milwaukee.
And so he goes to this apartment of these 2 women, and they tie him down and they cut on him, and
For 2 days.
For 2 days.
And how do we know this? Because he called the police from a street corner,
Yes.
saying, please come and help me, with 300 puncture wounds all over his body.
Yes.
So you're this poor 18-year-old kid with some kind of a deranged sex fetish.
Yes.
Winds up in the apartment of I'm looking at the pictures here in the story on the website, Star Tribune. Scary looking women.
Yeah.
These are, and the roommate came in with the police there and said, I think you're looking for me.
Yeah, her name was Raven, but she went by Scarlet, as if Raven was an ominous enough name.
And she said about her roommate, she said, well, she's possibly involved in some sort of satanic or occult activities.
Yeah, I guess no doesn't mean no in Lycan worship.
So You Got to Be Kidding Me goes out to somehow a kid gets himself on a bus, travels across the country thinking that a Craigslist ad is going to pay off, until he finds himself duct taped down to the bed with 2 women running werewolf sex
Worship.
fantasies and worship on the top of him, punctured 300 times. That's a bad day.
Yes.
So the You Got to Be Kidding Me goes out to that poor chap, and the come on goes out to anybody who has that sort of moment where the thing that you know is your liability happens to you at the last possibly good moment. And the Cripes goes out to those poor parents of the youngsters whose kids just won't go to bed at the right time because someone decided that we should start saving on the daylight. There's some things in this world that make you say Cripes and come on, you got to be kidding me. But we don't have to live with only those things.
We do not.
No, there's something more than that. And we're going to talk about that at the end of the second hour. There's some right-ons. There are some things that are good and right and beautiful in this world. So stick with us here. AM 950, DougPadgerRadio.com. After the break, Jana Reese, the flunker of sainthood, with some good news for the rest of us.
Oh, good.
Yep.